Welcome to another Milepost of the V-Twin Life. We talk motorcycles, powered by those V-Twins, why we enjoy it, what they mean to us, and just why we enjoy the open road. V-Twin Life is brought to you by CrashIncClothing.com, also known as Crash Inc. on the World Wide Web. Man, Brad has sold a lot of stuff. You want to get some merchandise, you want to get parts, you want to upgrade stuff on your bike. He is a dealer for a lot of great companies, so check out CrashIncClothing.com and see what they got for you. Now, we got Wild Ass. You want to add some comfort to your ass? Man, Wild Ass has got you covered. They've got something you like. Use that promo code DWoods. Get yourself free shipping and put that ass in comfort. Can't forget Custom Dynamics, leading the world in LED lighting and LED technology. Man, these got some great stuff. You want to light up your life at nighttime? You want to be seen during the day? Hey, check out Custom Dynamics. Can't forget Lexan. These guys got some great comm units. I just got the new G16s. Man, you want to talk quality? These things are awesome. Loudspeakers, plus they got some air pumps, small ones you keep in your bike. They're ready to go. So check out Lexan. So now, let's get to another milepost of the V-Twin Life. What is happening, everybody? Welcome back to another Sunday on the V-Twin Life as we are hitting milepost 130 tonight with Nancy Oz, a legendary long-distance rider and founder of the VMR Rally.
Yeah, VMR.
There we go. I was close. I got myself tongue-tied. Well, thank you for coming on and, coming to hang out tonight and sharing some adventures with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Should be fun.
So how did motorcycles start for you? That's where I like to start with everybody. How did you get into riding?
Yeah, well, I kind of always wanted to and had a few experiences, in my teens and 20s, but it wasn't until I was about 30 my husband got a KZ 400 and I would ride around on the back with him, and that got old in a hurry. So I went and took the MSF class, at the motor vehicle agency, and got a little 400 CM 400T, and quickly moved up, to more of a cruiser style, and just from there took off and found out about the Iron Butt Association, started doing that stuff and rallies, and on from there. The rest is history.
What got you into wanting to do like Iron Butt rides and really getting into long distance?
So I used to work with this guy, Andrew, and when I got my motorcycle license, not long after I got my license, he wanted to get his. And he already knew how to ride, but, he never got his license. And so I used to ride with him, like, as his licensed rider while he only had his permit, And we were out one day just, tooling around, and stopped to, get soda or whatever. And he's like, yeah, there's these crazy guys, and they ride 1,000 miles in one day. They go 500 miles, get a receipt, and turn around and come back. I was like, I could do that, And so this was, the internet existed, but you didn't really just go Google stuff, But so I started, trying to find out more about it. Finally did find out more about it, and, knew I was going to do it. I don't know. I just didn't. I started doing rallies first, and I found out about them because I belonged to a local, I had BMW bike by this time, and belonged to a local BMW club, and somebody in that group, we had like a forum, where everybody could chat before Facebook. And somebody in there mentioned about this rally that was going on. It was called the Void. It was in Virginia. And I want to say this was 2006, might have been 5. And I said, oh, yeah, that sounds like fun. It was like 10 hours or 12 hours. So I went and did that and had an absolute blast. And I was just absolutely hooked. I didn't have a GPS. Most people had a GPS by that time if they were doing rallies, but I used to do them with paper maps. I had my DeLorme Street Atlas and handwritten directions from place to place.
That had to add some difficulty. So you got into rally riding before you got into the doing IBR stuff.
Yeah, I did rally. I did at least 3 or 4 rallies before I did my first saddle sore, my first documented saddle sore. Yeah.
Interesting. I know I've still yet to. It's something that I want to get into is trying out some of the rallies and learning that because I
Mhm.
haven't done that. I mean, I've done the saddle source, the IBA rides, and
Right.
they're fun. It's fun to challenge yourself, is the way I look at it. And I think it'd be the
Exactly.
same way with a rally. Is you get that personal challenge, and you know, can you do it?
Yeah.
And then see what happens.
There's one going on up your way this summer.
I know, and it starts the day after my Monsters Over Mountains run gets back.
Oh, I think we talked about that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, was it the PNW,
BMW, yeah.
yeah, GPX, or
Yeah,
because there's
something
2 of them. There's the PNW Grand Tour, and then the PNW GTX Rally, I think it is.
yeah, yep. Yeah, it's not a tour style, it's more of a scavenger hunt,
Yeah.
finite little time. Can't get them all kinda thing.
Yeah, do what you can.
Right, exactly.
So how many I know you did it once. Did you compete in the IBR Rally more than once?
2 times.
2
Yeah,
times.
yeah. 2009 was my first, and then 2011. In 2011, I totaled my bike 6 miles from the finish.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, but one of my friends came out and gave me his bike so I could finish. It was
Oh,
hilarious.
that's
Yeah, yeah, it was very nice of him, but so the cop, were there on the side of the road and my husband came in a rental car. He was gonna, pick me up from the scene of the accident. But then my friend Steve Hobart pulls up and, says, "Here you go." And so I rode off and the cop was like, wait a minute." So she throws this one down and you come and bring her another one. He's like, "Yeah, yeah, that's how it goes."
You can learn later.
Yeah. So, yeah, so I at least got to finish.
Yeah, because I mean, that's a prestigious event. Being able to just finish that is pretty freaking amazing.
I'm very proud of those finishing it twice. Yeah. Yeah.
I bet.
Some of the best friends in the world I know from motorcycles, but rallies specifically.
I think when you get inside, I've always kind of said, you get the motorcycle community as a whole, but then you get the little sub communities with inside of it with, different groups like for you, the rally community, or I can reference like with Mile Monsters or, hog chapters. And there's all these little different sub groups,
Mhm.
communities with inside. And it is an awesome community to be part of. And everybody's so supportive of everybody. And it's, it becomes a family.
Yeah, it really does. It really does. The gals from VMR are like the step above anything that I've ever experienced. So really, really happy about that. Really proud of that too.
Well, let's dive into that. How did the VMR get started? And kind of let you explain it, to some of the, like we got Honor, of course, she's in the side chat, and a couple
Uh-huh.
others, but could be intriguing for some of the lady
Yeah,
riders that aren't familiar with about it.
sure, sure. So I'm trying to remember when this was. I think it might have been like January or February of 2023. It was Chris Hopper's idea. I know a lot of folks know Chris Hopper from Hoka Mile Monsters, all that stuff. Thousand, 100,000 miles and 100 days and all that
Yeah.
stuff. Chris is
I never heard of the guy.
yeah, right. He's a pretty accomplished guy too. So, anyway, it was his idea, and then he contacted Paul Tong and said, "Hey, I got this idea for a rally just for women. What do you think?" And Paul's like, "I think it's great, except it's meaningless if it's run by you or me. We need it to be done by a woman." So they, tapped on my shoulder. And the three of us had some conversations about, you know, where are we going to do this? When are we going to do this? How much is it going to cost? What's the format? How are we going to advertise and make it accessible? We were trying to think of, what would be some of the barriers that would keep women from doing it. Like I've been doing these rallies, like I said, it's, almost 20 years now. And um, it, I feel like there used to be more women back, like in the 2008, 9, 10, 12, in that time frame. I feel like there were more women, but as I look back on it, I think it was because I was bringing them from my local BMW club, that there were so many women there. But yeah, I noticed that, Heart of Texas the last couple years, we had like one, maybe two. And then there might be a couple more that, were riding pillion with their husband, boyfriend, whoever. But as a pilot, there was only like one or two. And
Wow.
yeah, we needed to change that. With like 60 bikes and there's only one. No,
Hmm.
that's not okay. So yeah, so we set out to do it. The three of us got together in person down in Jacksonville in March during the IBA party there.
Hmm.
And we just kind of mapped out, okay, this is what we're going to charge, and this is the area we're going to look for a a venue, and I was going to start trying to throw together a rally. And it worked out great. Chris had a couple ideas for some swag and some bonus locations, and Paul's fantastic with like the technology end of stuff. It was a big help with like scoring systems and creating the video that we had at the finish, and all that stuff's on our website. You can see all of it. And it just worked out great. We had a fantastic mix of women, that from an Iron Butt Rally winner, right? Wendy Crockett. She rode with her daughter in a sidecar. So now
Which
how
is
old?
awesome.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm trying to think, how old is Montessa? She's around 10. If she said she's 9 or she's 12, okay, but she's in that sort of 10-ish range. Um,
Right.
yeah, cute kid. So that was cool. And down to people that have never done it before, to people that had a few rallies under their belt or have done the Iron Butt Rally, or we had a couple. We had so Wendy, and then of course KTS, who won the VMR. She was in the top 10 of the IBR in maybe 13. I don't remember when, but she placed very well, like fifth or fourth or something. Um, and a couple others gals that have done the IBR, but then people that have never done any rally. Um,
Right.
and, and everybody was very supportive. We have a Facebook group that's just for women, and we still get guys trying to join. And I do believe that their intentions are good. They think they're being supportive, and we appreciate that. But the the women supporting women is a big part of this. And
Well, and it's an all women's rally, so no,
it's
I totally get where
exactly,
what you're getting at with that.
yeah, exactly. And for people that thought it wasn't necessary, we had a lot of people saying like, why would you do that? It's not necessary. They can do any rally. They can, that's true, but they're not. And we want
Yeah.
them to. So here's the proof that it worked. Heart of Texas starts next week, and I think we have, oh, I don't know, maybe 15 women.
That's awesome. And I know I've talked to a few, I mean, like with Mandy,
Hmm.
I've talked with Honor. Got just I mean, I think I talked to Shell for an hour a couple nights ago, and
Okay.
from the feedback, I've got from some of the ladies, we, brought it up a little bit. They all loved it, had an absolute blast,
Yeah.
and thought it was great.
Yeah. Because it's fun.
And
And
I love the story of Shell when she slept at a police station.
yeah, Shell's hilarious. And Shell didn't want
Yeah.
anybody to know she was riding. So
Right.
yeah, so we had that like remote option. So she took the remote option and didn't want her name on anything. And so she could just show up at the finish.
Like Keltfire said, empowered women empower
I
women.
say that all the time. I'm like, yeah, you gotta don't be one of those women that tries to run the other ones off. No, we more women, please. Thank you.
Because you had what, 15 to 20 in the first year of it last year?
30, 28
30.
bikes,
Okay.
30 women, right? Because we had Wendy's daughter riding with her, and then we had two best friends that rode two up. Yeah, so 30 women. And I already have 45 registered, 45 bikes for this year.
That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah. So, and I have on there that we're going to cap at 75, and I know Chris is like, no, we're going to do 100. I think we may hold to 75. And, the biggest reason is that, the hotel only has so many rooms and, okay, there's more hotels, but
Okay, yeah.
the venue where we're having a start meal as well, not just the finish one. So there'll be a,
Mhm.
a event sponsored meal, the night before the start. And it's at a museum where they only have room for 100 people. So I think I really got to keep it to 75 so that, we'll have room for staff and pillions and, a couple spectators.
Right. No,
Yeah,
that's understandable, but yeah, I guess, next year you're gonna have to start looking at bigger places.
exactly.
You keep
Exactly.
growing.
Yeah. Well, the hotel that we're at, yeah, it only has like, I don't know, 84 rooms or something, but their ballroom can hold 200.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we'll be good for the finish, and and if people want to come or whatever, we'll make tickets available. And I hope they do. I hope people do come because it's a really fun group.
Now, see, last year did it start in Arkansas?
Yes, we were in Fort Smith, Arkansas, so right on the border.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yep.
So where are you starting at this year?
Enid, Oklahoma.
Okay.
It's about an hour sort of west of Stillwater, kind of in the middle, sort of northwest, but really not the panhandle. Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun. So, Miss Monkey, she's out of Florida. Where can we find links? So I
Um,
know you have the website, and I was gonna put it on
yeah,
here, and I
it's
forgot.
www.v as in Valkyrie, M as in moto, rally.com. vmrally.com. And there's a link there to register. Our video from Jason Setzer is right there. Thank you. Um,
Mhm.
Video from Jason Setzer is right there in the upper right hand corner, where you can hear what some of the gals said about last year's event. And there's a bunch of other stuff in there, including if you click on the rally pack, or sorry, it says like click here for 2023 event info or something like that. There's a ton of pictures from the event and the rally pack that the ladies got, like with the bonus locations and the Excel file with the GPS coordinates and all that, as well as a couple other videos. This is kind of a fun story. So at the start, the ladies, most of the ladies started with us there in Arkansas. There was a handful that did the remote start, maybe like, I don't know, 5 or 6. But so the gals were all out there, getting ready, bikes running, all that nervous energy bouncing around. And I was walking around the parking lot and I see this guy with a camera, like, and he looked like he was interviewing people. And my hackles went up immediately because I thought it was media. And not that we don't appreciate publicity, but the media tends to twist what we say and make us sound dangerous and reckless. And, they leave out the part where there's mandatory rest and mandatory, not mandatory, but the points are so much that you would never not do it. Meal breaks and, stuff like that. And there's rules about speeding and there's rules about gear. And, no, it is not an unsafe endeavor.
No,
But
you're putting forth setting forth for people to be safe and not push the boundaries and
exactly.
getting people hurt.
Exactly, exactly. So, I see this guy that I think is media, and so I go marching over there to see what he's doing. And no, he just happened to be staying at the hotel, also a rider, has a girlfriend who's a relatively new rider, and so he saw all these gals, and so he's like, "Hey, what's going on?" And then I started talking to him, and he said, "Oh, well, after they take off, can I, sit and talk with you a little bit too?" Said, sure. So we did. And then he put together like a little 4 or 5 minute video that's also in that 2023 event info. If folks go in there and scroll down, there's a video, the video that Paul put together for the finish banquet. That's pretty cool. It's like it's footage from Chris's drone, as well as some of the photographs from we had a couple photographers there. Some of their photographs and, some other stuff. It was pretty cool. Wait, what is that? So he found the answer the next morning. Oh yeah. Okay. Terrence. Right. So anyway, Terrence, the guy that put together that video, and his girlfriend Robin are riding in the heart of Texas this year.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. They live in San Antonio, or down that way anyway. So yeah, so that worked out all. Registration is open already for VMR. If you go to the website, the vmrally.com, in the upper right-hand corner, there's a link where you can register. And the registration is actually through RideMaster, but there's a link. It'll bring you right in.
Okay. So are you doing a loop and finishing back at where you started this year?
Yes. We're going to start and finish in the same place. Especially for a shorter rally, this is only like, 30 hours, whatever. I haven't finalized the times. Last year it was started 8 a.m. back by 2 p.m. the following day. It'll be similar to that. I've been to Enid. I went there Christmas time, just to, scope the area out.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going back next month to pay more attention to, and I'm even like staying at the hotel where the event's going to be and everything. And I want to get a good feel for what the traffic's like in the morning. And if it looks like 8 a.m. is not a great time, I may have them taking off at 7 and, then back at 2 or 3 or whatever the next day. But yeah, when you have an event like that, and then we're scoring the whole time, the riders are constantly sending in their bonus locations. So it's hard for us to move around. We really kind of need to just stay put and score.
That makes sense. Yeah, because I can imagine how that part's got to be, confusing, I would say, but also you're going to be busy.
Oh,
especially,
yeah.
like you said, with the number of riders you've already got signed up for this year. And
Yeah.
I can only imagine the amount of, emails coming in with everybody's, scores and points, and you guys are going to be busy.
Yeah. Well, so that's another where Paul comes to the rescue. So the app crashed before VMR last year, so we had to go to plan B, but so the riders have an app on their phone, and they will submit the bonuses through there. Like they can attach a photo and then they send it in, and it comes into me through a system. It's not email. We use Airtable, and there's a couple other background systems too. But I'm just sitting there, and they, populate down the left-hand side of my screen. I can see bonuses are coming in. Like, I think I see rider number and bonus code or something like that. And then if I click on it, I can see their photo, and I can also see the like the example photo, so I know if it's the right thing. And it's really, really pretty cool. And I know Paul's done some updates to it, especially since we had the crash right before VMR last year. But yeah, it'll be ready to go for this year.
So did you guys build an app just for it, or was
Paul
there one
did.
that?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
No, he built it just for this. Yeah.
He's a techie guy.
Yeah. So first he had to learn how to code. Yep.
I could imagine.
Yep. So yeah, he's also my webmaster. So yeah, he's a little techie.
Smart move.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, a lot of fun though.
It is. It would be really, it was fun learning it last year. I mean, not learning, but following some of the posts of people, and it's cool to see this kind of stuff come together. These type of events, and bringing the community, together more and doing stuff, and bringing people into motorcycling. It's just another reason, another avenue, and somebody might see it's like, hey, this will be fun, and if you can get somebody else into enjoying it and learning about it and the camaraderie and everything that goes along with it, then it's a win-win.
Absolutely. And that just goes to why I really felt like we were doing ourselves a disservice by not involving more women, really and truly. So I'm really happy that we have so many more now. Like you look at the roster for Heart of Texas, and it's like, oh yeah, that worked. That worked.
Yeah, I mean, it's super cool, and it's cool to see how much already, like you're saying, your registration has already grown for this year,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm up 50%,
which
and
is awesome.
we're what, 5 months out. you know.
Yeah,
So yeah,
only more time,
I
more
know.
people to sign up.
I know. So yeah, I only have room for 30 more. So sign up before we close it.
Yeah. What was your favorite part of it last year? What's the one, the biggest memory that you think you
Oh,
really enjoyed?
so there's two things that come to mind. Um, he is super smart. Um, so the first thing I'm going to say is on Thursday night we had a group dinner at a nearby restaurant, and it worked out because we were sort of in this like outside area, and they had like maybe they have bands out there. I don't know why they had this like little platform out there. But so this one gal, Kimba, who is just an amazing dynamic personality. There's just so many words coming to mind thinking of Kimba. She's just amazing. But so she just like hops up on this platform and she's like, "Hey, I'm Kimba," and talking about herself, and everybody take a turn and come up here and introduce yourself. That was really an incredible um beginning to everybody really getting through, getting to know each other. So that was like the first step of it, that really developing those bonds, and the amazing sisterhood that came out of it. But so then at the finish banquet, um I had like a list of things that I wanted to remember to say, right? And we also have like a PowerPoint presentation that kind of helps guide you through all this stuff too, right? But the notes that you have are also important. Well, I was scurrying around before the thing, and who knows what I did with that piece of paper. I didn't have it anymore. And then I was like, oh, I'll be all right. I'll be all right. I remember all the stuff, right? So then I'm up there and doing my thing. And then I forget if it was Paul or Chris, but one of them's like, oh, yeah, Karen and Gail and Carrie had something they wanted to. And I was like, what's going on? I don't know anything about this. It's like, this is not something I know. So somebody's doing something here. And they bought me this axe, like a real axe. And it's beautiful. It's like, got a polished head, and it's engraved with like a Valkyrie on it. And it's got a beautiful handle, like wood carved and wrapped in leather. And it's in this gorgeous box. And Karen had written like a brief speech about Valkyries and what the event meant to all of them. And holy cow, I was just blown away by that. It was just amazing. So
To show support for something you were, part of that created for these women that they super enjoyed.
yeah, it was
So
amazing.
you opened a door for so many.
And then do you know Del Meyer?
Yes.
Yeah, she's a sweetheart. So I guess it was her that got like, remember like grade school back in the day, science fair, you'd have like the big poster board.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow she got a hold of one of those and had like something on there about Valkyrie gals, something. And then they all signed it and wrote like a little, something on there. And I felt like I couldn't really get it home safely, so I left it at Paul's house, and I, figured I'd bring it home when I drove his daughter down for Thanksgiving and back, that I could bring it home then. Well, they went and got it framed for me, and not just the poster, but they took some of the photos from the event and like put those around the whole thing. So now the thing was so huge I couldn't even fit it in my car. So I still don't have it, but But Paul will be driving up for LDX this summer, and I'll be driving out, and I won't have 2 college kids and 3 people's stuff in my car. It'll just be me, so I'll be able to get it home then. But I'm really missing my poster, and I'm looking forward to being reunited in June with her.
I bet. Yeah,
Yeah.
Dell and Shell both stayed at my house the weekend for Monsters Over Mountains last year.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
They made notes. They somehow thought it started Thursday, so they showed up here Thursday morning. It's like, hey, when we start? And I'm like, Saturday. Oh shit, we're really early. Hey, no worries.
Stay here.
Yeah. No, and that's a fun thing. You know, with the run I put on, it's kind of an invite only sort of deal, and everybody, you know, comes and crashes at my place. My wife and I do a big dinner, you know, the night before we all leave, and it's just a lot of fun. You know, hang out with everybody. You know, have a fire in the backyard, weather permitting, or fire bans, and because we're in August when I put it on. But no, it's been so much fun, and just the camaraderie and the friendships that you build out of it, and
Absolutely.
you know, brought in some new people into, you know, pushing miles. You know, I mean, I hate calling it a long distance ride. I mean, granted, we're doing 1,600-ish, you know, in under 30. Well, last year we did 32 hours.
Okay.
But, you know, brought in new people into it, and they've expanded, kept going, and love it. And it's just a lot of fun. You can introduce new people into something that they didn't think was there, or they didn't think they could do. Because I had a couple friends like, hey, I'm going to try. It's like, but I don't know if I bail early because I just can't do it. Is that all right? I'm like, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, it's not, nobody's paying to come ride it. It's like, you know, see if you can. And, you know, there's a couple of us that were premier members, so we were able to, you know, sponsor new members in to help them with, you know, getting their first certificates through the Ironbound Association. It's just been so much fun.
Yeah, yeah. And you know, and then other people get that same I don't even know what to call it. Like there's like that sense of accomplishment, right?
Yeah.
But it's more than that. But yeah, that's something that like you really can't describe. You only can experience, and it's really fun to see people experience it for the first time, you know.
It is, and it's a lot of fun. And even, I mean, there's even times, I mean, you know, you do them, you know, I've done a handful, you know, saddle sores, documented ones and undocumented, and still every one's a challenge. I mean, there's no guarantee that you're going to be able to do every one. So, I mean, there's always something, you know, for me, it's like I do a lot of it with mile monsters, and I might get tired, I might get sore. And then to me, it's like I can think of, you know, what our heroes go through every day, and what I'm facing at that time is nothing to what they do every day. So that's my fuel. It pushes me, and I keep going, and you persevere. But it's, you know, for me, that's my cause. I enjoy riding for, and it's been an amazing thing to be part of. And I enjoy the heck out of it.
Yeah, yeah, that's really a very nice thing that that you all are doing, and supporting some kids that really deserve it. Like
And it's been even touching getting to see them and know them personally, and, you know, meeting them, you know, person to person, face to face. And, you know, last summer I was able to ride down. I mean, I'm up here in Western Washington. I rode all the way to Irvine, California for a birthday party and a barbecue for Turbo. Then, you know, me and a couple guys, we turned around, head back home.
Yep.
You know, wish we could have rode to the Gavin's tour, you know, to see the film and everything. But it was, I mean, we went through a blizzard in Utah that night. Well, Frank told me we did. I was sleeping in the back seat. He's like, you wouldn't believe the snow. I'm like, yeah, right. And you know, I switched my turn to drive. I was like, dude, you got the car and all-wheel drive. He's like, we had 2 hours of a freaking blizzard. No shit. How about that? Yeah. Slept right through it.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, I know. Yeah, that I didn't see the movie, but did Jason do the movie?
Yep. Yeah, Jason and his son Chase put it together, and it's on YouTube. I'll send you the link for it. It is
cool.
Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I followed them along, you know, on Facebook during the ride, you know, going to the different dealerships and stuff. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. When I first found out about them, I sent them each, you know, like a little toys and a couple, you know, just small items and a little card. And, you know, then like, you know, their mothers or fathers were, you know, posting pictures on Facebook, and the kids were so excited. And, you know, it just, you can do something really small and make a difference for somebody. And
Absolutely.
it's, I've been through few hurdles in my life, and I understand that um, just doing something nice can make a huge difference. So I started doing this thing when I fly, where I bring the flight attendants little candy. I stop by uh, Walmart or Target and get, Giardello. No, what is it? Giardelli? Is that the chocolate? Or Lin?
Yeah.
Yeah, they come like in a package, and they're like little individually wrapped so they can split them up or whatever they do. It costs me, between that and I write a little card, it costs me like $15. You should see their faces and their reactions. It's like it's worth 5 times that, just to, see them be like, "Oh my gosh, why would somebody do this for me? You're so nice." And it's like, "No, thanks for being here." But those kinds of things can really make a difference to somebody. You never know what their struggle is.
Well, it's like, yeah, Jay said, the smallest gestures for many people make huge impacts.
Mhm. It's true.
Yeah, I sent you the link for it. I want to do it so that way I don't forget and get sidetracked because I'm
Uh,
really good at getting
oh,
sidetracked and
thank you.
forgetting things.
I heard my phone chiming
Yeah.
over here. That's probably what it was.
So, what was the big thing that got you hooked with wanting to do rallies? Because you've been doing them for so long. Was there something just really hooked you in on it?
So when I did that first one, it was called The Void, and it was like, I think it was 2006. It might have been 2005. I remember the bike I had, so it had to be 2005 or six. And I rode with somebody that had a GPS for my very first one, and he, like I said, it was like a 12 or 10 or 12 hour. I forget what it was exactly, but 10 or 12 hours in a rally, you just keep going, right? You don't stop and eat. You don't, no, you just go, right? You eat before you leave, and then you're going to eat when you get back. You just suck it up, buttercup, all day long, right? Well, he's like, "Oh, well, let's take a rest." And he's like laying down under a shade tree. I'm like, but I didn't have any choice because, he had the GPS, and I had nothing, no way to know where I was going, right? But I really enjoyed it. And then I also realized that I wanted to do it alone because I didn't want to be, um, beholden to somebody else wanting to stop or not wanting to stop, or, I wanted to be able to do my own thing. And it just felt like a really, fun way to challenge myself. Really, you have a fire over there? Looks like you have
No,
snow.
my lights just turned off in my shop. 1 second.
Oh. Uh, I'll let you do that. I'll keep talking about my so anyway, I felt like it was just a really fun way to challenge myself, but to challenge myself within what I can do, and not necessarily have to pair with somebody else. I have done a couple rallies with someone, but I just prefer to do them on my own, so I can stop when I want and not stop when I don't want, and all that kind of stuff. Other
Kind
people
of
do different.
go at your pace.
So at my pace, always at my pace,
Yeah.
and push my own envelope, and not either be held back or trying to, pull along somebody else. So yeah, but it's
Right.
it's just a lot of fun. I really enjoy the sort of time and distance and spatial puzzle to it, especially when it's a little more nuanced, I'll say. Like the rallies that Paul puts on are a little more involved. So like one year it was collecting cattle on different cattle trails, and then you had to drive the cattle to the markets and sell your cattle, and then whoever made the most money won the rally. So it's more than, go here for 500 points, go there for 200 points, go over there for 700 points. There's just a little more to it, and it just makes the puzzle, a little more interesting to solve and fun.
I think it may be going places that you're not familiar with and just you're seeing new area for,
Yeah.
I got to imagine a lot of people are seeing different places and places they've never been.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and there's a ton of that. And in fact, in the early days of, when I was doing rallies, it was very often, my husband and I would then go back to a lot of these places, because I was like, "Oh, it's so cool," but I was just, breezing through on a rally, so, let's go back. And we'd go back and check these places out a little more. And you learn all kinds of stuff. I know so many random things. And I work in the elevator business, work for Otis, and so I have colleagues all over the world, really, but especially all over the U.S. and Canada. And I'll be talking to somebody, and wherever. I was talking to a guy one time from was it Idaho or Montana? I can't remember. It was one of those towns, and he said, "Oh yeah, I'm from St. Regis." And I said, "Oh, I've been there." And he's like,
I think that's Idaho.
"Yeah, I think it's Idaho too, but it's like right near the border, I think, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, like right on 90." So he said, "Oh, I'm from St.
I gotta see.
Regis," and I said, "Oh, I've been there." And he said, "What the heck? What did you do there?" And I said, "Oh, well, I was getting these statues, Mullen statues for scouting for a rally." And he's like, "I know exactly what that is. It's across the street from the restaurant my family owns." You know?
Okay,
So,
we're both wrong. It's Montana. It's
oh, okay.
just inside the border.
Yeah, I knew it was close to the border, but
Yeah.
yeah. So, yeah, so Jasper's Restaurant in St. Regis, everybody go there. Say hi to John.
Well, it's like I found a place going through Idaho one time. My plan was it was actually my very first 1,000-mile ride. I was going to Boise, Idaho, well, to
Uh-huh.
Kuna, which is southwest, and I was taking a long detour up through Montana and over Lolo Pass. And my plan was I'm going to get fuel in Coeur d'Alene. And I got cut off on the freeway. I'm like, cool, I'll hit the next exit. Well, I didn't realize that exit that I got cut off at was the last exit to go to Coeur d'Alene.
Yeah.
And I'd start climbing all these little hills. I'm like, oh shit, Coeur d'Alene is that's gone. And about that time, my gas light comes on,
Yeah.
and I'm like, fuck, I got nothing. I don't have any reserve bottles. I don't have nothing. And come down this little hill, and I see this sign on the side of the road, Lake Ross General Store, and it had a little gas pump sign. And I took like 4.8 gallons in a 5-gallon tank on that one.
Yep.
I'm like, whew. It's
Yep.
like now a little note in my head. If you ever miss Coeur d'Alene, there's a little store, little 2-pump general store, and he's got fuel.
I'll have to remember that, because I know I've sweat gas a few times. It is not fun.
Oh
Not
yeah, I ran out like twice last year.
Yeah.
But with those ones, I knew I was pushing it, and I wasn't worried because now I have, I carry 2 1-liter fuel cell bottles.
Okay.
And so one of them, my wife and I, we were coming back from Sturgis up by Hawthorne, Montana. And I come to this little intersection, and there's a, little 1-pump gas station, and only sells regular. Well, my Harley don't like regular. I'm like, well, we'll go to Hawthorne. I know there, it's a big fuel station. And I look at the mileage, and I look at my odometer, or, my trip meter. I'm like, fuck, this is going to be close.
Yeah.
I ran out like 200 yards before the gas station, but I
Yeah.
was able to coast to like 20 yards from the gas pump.
I
I
had
just
one like
laughed.
that. I ran out like I was probably 10 feet from the pump, and I was able to coast. Whew, in Montana, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, yeah, out of gas and no air in your wild ass. That's
Thanks,
because
Brandon.
somebody thought they'd be funny, and somebody let the air out of my wild ass before I left Sturgis.
Oh, yes.
I got to the first, my wife and I, we got to the first gas station, the first fuel stop leaving Rapid City. I'm like, God, what the hell's up? My ass
How
is
is that
bugging me. I'm like,
working?
something ain't right. And I unzip it, and the valve was screwed all the way open. I'm like, haha, good one. Somebody got me, and they never claimed it. But I mean, I laughed. I'm like, fuck, that's a good one, because
Yeah.
it makes you realize the difference they make.
How important it is. Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
I just chuckled. I forgot my suspicions of who I think it was, but
Mm,
that's all right. He never
that's all
fessed
right.
up, and I don't care.
Paybacks.
Yep.
I'm a little prankster.
I know. I
Yes.
thought it was Jason. I swore it was, but he's like, dude, seriously, it wasn't me, but I really wish it was.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny. So yeah, so Brandy was one of the people in the very beginning that I used to talk to a lot. Like, because she had never done a rally before. And when I first reached out to her, she's like, "Well, I don't really think I'm the one you want to talk to because I don't know anything." I'm like, "No, you are exactly the person I want to talk to," because I wanted to bring in, new people, and so I needed to understand what would prevent her, what would prevent other women. What are the things that you're worried about? What can I do to knock down those barriers? And so
Smart move.
she was a big help in the early days, because it's like we said, like I've been doing this for so long, it's like foreign to me, all these things, but once she told me, I was like, okay, yeah, we can do that. Hey, Hop. Um,
Hoppers in the house.
yep, yeah. So there was several of them that helped me a lot in the early days, and they still do. Like, stuff comes up. Linda Barnes, she's out of Chicago area. I think she's in Wheaton. But there was a women's group out there that reached out to me and wanted me to come speak at. Yes, Brandy was a pain in the ass, but I did always. um, but anyway, so this women's group asked me to come speak at a dealer event they were putting on, but it wasn't going to work out. I couldn't do it. I had to be in Montreal that day for work and all this. But I asked Linda to do it, and so she did. She had other plans that day, but she canceled them and did this. Because I asked her, and Brandy, huge help, but Honor too. The gals were wanting to get merch, to proudly show off their association with Valkyrie Motor Rally. And I kept saying, yeah, I'll get to it. I've just been so busy or whatever. So Honor sent me a text one night and she's like, hey, you want me to, get the ball rolling? I'm like, yes. So, we talked for a few minutes, we were on the same page, and then she got it going. And then, the three of us, me and Honor and the vendor had a call to, finalize the details and open the store. And I think the store, today's the last day or tomorrow's the last day. If anybody wants VMR merch, I don't know how to communicate the link right now, or maybe Brandy or one of the girls that's watching can put the link in the chat here.
Yeah, or shoot it to me and I can put it up on the screen.
Yeah. So Brandy or somebody, if you're out there, I think Mandy was watching too. So it's the same woman that did some of the Mile Monster stuff in Minnesota.
I think I know the place you're talking about.
It's called Neon Needles. I think that's what it's called. Neon something. And so then she just like compiles all the orders. There's a bunch of options like pullover sweatshirt, zip up sweatshirt, tank tops, t-shirts, long sleeve, short sleeve, headbands. I think that's it. We mixed up the colors and stuff like that. And $3 of every item goes towards Knitted Knockers, which is the charity that VMR supports.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's nice. I mean, yeah, you get something that you want, but you're supporting a good cause also.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It's a win-win.
Exactly. And the prices are pretty good, especially considering that $3, we raised the price $3 essentially. So that, we could raise some money. And my company matches charitable donations. So when, that money comes, say it's $300, I don't know, whatever it winds up being, they're going to give me the check, which then I'll turn around and give to Knitted Knockers. So my company will match it. So it's really $6 of every item they get for Knitted Knockers. And what Knitted Knockers does, for people that don't know, it's a really kind of a funny name, but women that had a mastectomy, I guess you could say because of breast cancer, I guess maybe there's other reasons you would, but they provide knit or crochet temporary prosthetic. Unless you do reconstruction as part of your mastectomy, there's a period of time where you couldn't wear the traditional prosthetics because of the scars and the healing and all that. But the knitted knockers you can. And so there's some women that don't want to be a day in public without them. So that's what knitted knockers does. So it costs them about $10 per woman that they send something to. So if you look at it that way, if you buy 2 things from the store, you just helped a woman get some temporary prosthetics.
Which,
Pretty cool.
yeah, I mean, and to everybody, it means something to everybody.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. That's the one that's near and dear to me. Did
So yeah, I
somebody
put the link in the chat, and I will
Okay,
also
great.
put the link in the description under the video also.
Thank
I'll edit
you.
that when we're done, and it will go there also, and plus it'll go in when all this goes out to all the streaming networks and everywhere on Wednesday, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google, there will be a link for it in that also. I'll make
Oh,
sure it gets
the
there.
store will be closed by then. I think it closes tomorrow.
Okay, well,
That's all right. They'll be ready for next time, and
yeah.
and maybe we'll raise the prices $5.
All
I don't
for a good
know how.
cause.
Oh yeah, it is. It is. I don't even know how the sales have been. I was thinking I was going to reach out to her and ask. I've just been crazy for work and traveling and stuff, so I just haven't had a chance.
That
Think
bad
about
4-letter word, work,
I
gets in the way of
know.
so much stuff.
It does. It really does. Really does. I got back Friday afternoon, and then my niece wanted to come. Yes, and they can donate directly to Knitted Knockers. Thank you, Mandy. And my niece and her boyfriend wanted to come for the weekend, and so I never say no to them because they're at a military college, so they,
Oh, yes.
yeah, they don't get a lot of freedom.
Time.
Yeah. So
Understandable.
any little bit, I try to be there for them.
Oh, family's important.
It is. It is. They're good
And
kids too.
and just have that time together, and, the memories is you can't get it back if you don't do it.
Absolutely, absolutely. We went over to Fort McHenry here in Baltimore to go look at the bridge. The bridge that collapsed.
Mhm.
The ship is still sitting there under the bridge. You can see it just sitting there. It's really weird. It's really kind of creepy because like you see the bridge and then nothing. You know, it's
Yeah, that's
strange.
gotta be quite the undertaking, moving that bridge and cutting all the pieces out and all the
Oh
heavy lift
yeah.
cranes that gotta come in
Oh
and
yeah.
the salvage
It's
of that whole job, man,
it's a big thing. Yeah.
that's no kidding.
Yep.
It's amazing that there was, I mean, it's tragic. I mean, there's, six, I think it was 6 people lost their lives, but
Yeah.
it's amazing that that count wasn't higher.
Right, right. Oh, I know. Well, the police were able to stop the traffic. I mean, like split
Yeah.
second, they were able to stop the traffic. I saw a local story. There was a guy that was heading for his night job, and his Easy Pass, registered at 127 or something. And he got to the other side of the bridge at 129 or whatever, and he got to his job at 132. And then like after like 10 minutes he was on his shift there. He was like a baker or something, like so it was like kind of overnight work. And after he was there for a half hour or whatever, somebody came and told him the bridge collapsed, and they were showing the videos and stuff. And he said he just like was just dumbfounded, like he could just crossed it. And meanwhile the police were looking at who might have been on the bridge other than the workers. And they saw that this guy's Easy Pass had registered, so they called his house and woke his wife up and were asking, to get in touch with him and whatever. And so she was freaking out. He just,
Oh, yeah, I can only imagine you get a call like that in the middle of the
oh
night.
yeah. So anyway, yeah, it was a big deal here in Baltimore, that's for sure.
Yeah, 'cause I heard that, I mean, that's a main arterial highway.
Yeah, that's a pretty major road for sure. It's part of the Baltimore Beltway, the road that circles Baltimore. I-95 comes through, and then the 695 loops around to like get to the places east and west. of the city.
Man.
So, yep.
Yeah, gonna be a little bottleneck for a couple of years.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. For
Yeah.
sure. But
No kidding. Well, thanks for coming on tonight, kind of, sharing some Valkyrie Motorcycle Rally, a little bit of your story of how you got into it from rally riding to now rally master.
yeah, right. A lot of fun.
Yeah, I definitely got to try and figure some time out sometime to definitely do one, because I do want to try it and just get myself hooked on something else
Yeah, I know,
or
right?
something more, because then you don't have enough reason to go ride and then get hooked on something else. It's like,
I
shit,
know.
got to play the lottery even more than the once or twice a year that I play it now.
I know. I like when it's, some huge number, I'm like, "Oh, I gotta get a ticket." But yeah, right. I don't not enough.
Yeah, I
So,
think I might buy 2 or 3 tickets a year.
yeah.
Like, fuck, I didn't win. Oh yeah, I didn't play.
Right.
So we'll hang around for a minute, Nancy. So everybody, thank you so much for tuning into Milepost 130. Next Sunday, we're gonna bring in another female rider. We got Miss Honor Huckle coming in to share her story of, I'm sure we'll dive into some rally ride, but also her adventure of riding her Harley 365 days last year, which is absolutely insane and absolutely awesome that somebody has a determination to do it, and then for the cause. So that will be a lot of fun. So tune in next week for 131 with Honor. And Nancy, thank you so much for coming in and hanging out and sharing some stories and adventures and talking VMR. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, well, you're lucky you got Honor. She's a badass.
She is.
Yes,
So,
she is.
all right, everybody, thank you so much. We will catch you all next Sunday.
Take care.